when I first met Chris was, during the 13 Hours time when the book came out and Benghazi was so a part of the news cycle. For you being younger, like, I don't think you experienced as much of that being part of the news cycle. So the way we made the connection was you reading The Ranger Way.
Yeah, that was cool. Thank you for that.
So how did that all come about, though? What made you pick it up?
So maybe like 2 years ago, I was dating a guy who was going to be a Ranger, and he was at Fort Bragg. I met him in North Carolina. So I didn't really know anything about the whole military life and just like all the things that they go through. And so like dating him, I stayed at Fort Bragg a couple of times, and I just like kind of fell in love with it, the discipline. And he was crazy, but he had the ego, but he needed to, because he had to get through Ranger school, and which he did. Sure. So I was like really intrigued. And then even though it didn't work out, I was still like, oh, I could apply a lot of these principles. Becoming a Ranger, fighting for something, having a passion, having a mission, apply it to my life, which I kind of was already doing, but was drawn to it more. So on my first national tour that I got, which was like, I think, November, December of 2021, towards the end of the year, I was reading a lot. And I picked up that book. I was reading a lot of different
I can tell you're an avid reader.
Yeah, I've been slacking a little bit, but for a while I was like burning through them. So that's the one that I picked up because while he was away, I wanted to kind of learn more about what he was going through. That way there could be a connection, because I'm a girl from New York. I'm not a guy that's going to fight wars. Like, how are we going to connect? So I was like, let me educate myself. So, and then it just kind of continued through there. So I picked up that and I read 13 Hours. And I loved it. And it was because a lot of the principles are the same, like embracing the suck. There's a lot of things that come with like working in an industry that's really not easy, especially being a woman. So, and then just applying it through like everything, just having the discipline to be healthy, have a good like mental state, even if your surroundings are kind of like falling apart. So to this day, still use those like principles as morals, as lessons. Because it was more of like, I like that you wrote the book where you don't have to be a Ranger to relate. It was like you could be anybody as long as you're relating to like these set rules. You know what I mean?
Well, I did. That's the whole reason when I did write. There was enough cool guy books out there, and it was like, man, I think people need to realize how much we are screw ups, and what it's just like everybody else. We screw up
we're human.
So much.
Yeah,
it's just how. But what do you do? That's the only difference I tell people between Ranger, SEALs, Delta, whatever else, and civilian population is that it's not that any stronger, any more mentally tough, and it's just that when we fall down, we pick ourselves up.
Right,
and everybody can do that.
Yeah.